Madre Labs CafeCeps. No. CafeCeps. Today on the Edgy Veg, I'm going to show you how to make an epic vegan brunch using 4 easy, delicious, and drool-worthy recipes. Thanks so much to IHERB for teaming up with me and sponsoring this video. Subscriber of the week this week is Justin D'Souza. He just left a comment on the Energy Balls video. If you haven't watched it, you totally should, saying, "This is a really well-made video. You're so genuine, just being you." Thank you so much, Justin, for your lovely comment. And if you want to be subscriber of the week next week, just make sure that I see you. Follow me on social media. All the links are in the description box below, and leave a comment on every single video. IHERB offers a unique selection of natural living products online that are harder to find at the grocery store. IHERB's over 35,000 brand name products are typically 30 to 50% less than if you were to buy them at your local health food store or specialty store. They offer discounted shipping rates in over 160 countries, which is great for vegans outside of the US who may find it difficult to find vegan products easily. And there is nothing I love more than cheap shipping rates. I think my online shopping addiction might be showing. They have a huge selection of vegan products that I love, and we'll be using a lot of those to make this amazing spread today. First recipe I'm going to show you how to make is a bulletproof coffee, because I'm not making brunch for anybody until I've had my morning coffee. This is a trend from a couple of years ago, but recently I've fallen back in love with it. I found this Madre Labs CafeCeps organic instant coffee. It's organic instant coffee made with Cordyceps and Reishi powders, so it kind of makes you feel less guilty about having multiple coffees a day. At least that's how I feel. Ordering on IHERB was super simple because they allow you to filter by vegan products, which means that finally I never need to leave my house again. Isn't that what every YouTuber wishes? The great thing about this recipe is that it's all done in your blender. Really, all you have to do is boil some water and add everything else to a blender. We are going to add 1 cup of hot boiling water to our blender. Then we are going to add 1 to 2 scoops of the Madre Labs CafeCeps. If you like kind of a lighter roast coffee, add 1 scoop. If you like dark roast, add 2. I like dark, so I'm adding 2 today. Then we are going to add 2 teaspoons of organic coconut oil, as well as 1 teaspoon of the Bulletproof Brain Octane MCT oil. It says rocket fuel for brain and body. Rocket fuel is what I need to get through my life, so let's add a bunch of that. The key with bulletproof coffee is start with a small amount of oil, or else, how do I put this? You will be going to the bathroom. So if you're not used to having oil in your coffee, start off with 1 teaspoon of the coconut oil and 1 teaspoon of the MCT oil and work your way up from there, and just, see how you feel. Then we are going to add 1 teaspoon of maple syrup. Again, the sweetness level is totally up to you. Start with 1 teaspoon and give that a good blend, and then add more later if you want more sweetness. And we're just gonna blend that up until the coffee is light brown in color and really frothy. You definitely have to use a blender for this. You cannot do it in a mug with a spoon. The oil will not infuse with the coffee properly, and you're just gonna have a thick film of oil on top of your coffee, and that sounds disgusting. So definitely do that in a blender. Recipe number 2 is the main event. We are going to make s'mores pancakes. These are amazing. They use a product called Rawmio, which is a raw vegan hazelnut spread. So it's like a vegan Nutella that's also raw. So it's definitely better for you than traditional Nutella. The first thing we are going to do is make some buttermilk. We are going to need 2 cups of almond milk and add 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Give that a good stir and set that aside for a minimum of 5 minutes. Now to a large bowl, we are going to add 2 cups of unbleached flour, add half a cup of graham cracker crumbs. I use these gluten-free s'morables. I like to use the gluten-free graham cracker crumbs because they're usually made in facilities that don't have allergen ingredients in it. So it's usually nut-free and dairy-free, all the frees. It's very liberated. And all I did was throw a bunch of graham crackers in a food processor, turned it on until it turned into a flour. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of organic cane sugar, 2 tablespoons baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon salt, and whisk that together to remove any lumps. Now we are going to add half a teaspoon of vanilla, 3 tablespoons of coconut oil, along with our buttermilk that we made earlier, and mix that together until you have no lumps and clumps and it's nice and smooth. Now I'm going to grease my pan or griddle if you have one of those at home. You can use coconut oil. I like to use this coconut oil that has non-dairy butter flavor in it. I just find that pancakes, waffles, anything that's breakfast related, it tastes so much better when it kind of tastes like butter. What I love about this stuff is that you get the butter flavor without the low smoking point. This stuff really really is good if you're cooking anything at a high temperature. Now let's cook our pancakes. I like to add half a cup of the batter to the hot pan, and I'm squishing in 4 to 5 of the Dandies vegan marshmallows. They're all natural and they are my favorite vegan marshmallow. You can use this the same way you use any other marshmallow that tastes the exact same. I even think that they taste better. Then just covering that with more batter. That way when you cut into your pancakes, you have a nice marshmallowy surprise. Cook the pancakes for 3 to 4 minutes on each side and remove them from the pan. When our pancakes are done cooking, we are going to create our little pancake s'more. So put out a pancake, spread it with the Rawmio hazelnut spread, sprinkle with some extra graham cracker crumbs or flour, and then put on your next pancake and repeat. When you get to the top, I like to do about 3 or 4 pancakes. We're gonna top with marshmallows. Now this step is completely optional. If you happen to have a kitchen blowtorch, like I do, you can just kind of lightly torch the top of the marshmallows to get a nice toasted smoky marshmallow flavor. If you don't have one of those, all you have to do is place the pancake under the broiler for about a minute, but watch because these will burn super quickly and they will catch on fire. So just watch it. Recipe number 3 is a tofu scramble, but I'm going to take my traditional tofu scramble recipe and make it more of like a tofu scramble Florentine with spinach. In a blender or a small bowl, I'm going to add 1 cup of water, half a cup of nutritional yeast, and half a cube of not chicken vegetable bouillon. Then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon garlic powder, half a teaspoon turmeric, 1 teaspoon black salt or sea salt if you do not have black salt, 1 teaspoon black pepper, and blend that until it's well combined. Now this is the mixture that is going to make our tofu taste like eggs and give it that yellow color that scrambled eggs traditionally has. In a large pan, I'm going to heat up 1 tablespoon of the coconut oil with non-dairy butter flavor. I don't know, it just makes everything taste like breakfast. You know that butter flavor that we all smelled growing up in the frying pan? It gives it that. When the pan is hot, I'm going to crumble the tofu with my hands and add it to the pan. I'm using 2 packages today, which will serve about 4 people. You can use medium to firm tofu. I prefer medium. They didn't have it at the store today, so I'm using firm. So you want to cook that for about 3 minutes until most of the moisture from the tofu has left the tofu. Then we are going to add our broth mixture that we made in the blender before. We are going to cook that for about 4 minutes without stirring. After 4 minutes, we are going to cook that for about 5 to 8 minutes, just until most of the liquid has evaporated. Now we are going to add 1 tablespoon of fresh dill, 2 chopped green onions, and about a cup of spinach. Mix that all together and then saute until the greens are wilted. This should take about 5 minutes. Now I'm going to add a little bit of the Simply Organic Spice Right Everyday Blends. It's just a really nice combination of herbs and spices that you can throw onto almost anything and make it taste really delicious without having to find individual bottles of spices and, you know, do a whole thing. Mix that all together and then you're ready to serve. When you're serving this tofu scramble, you also have the option of adding some chili peppers if you like some heat and some additional fresh dill to garnish. The last recipe we are going to make is one of my favorites. I love potatoes. Potatoes are delicious, but diner style potatoes are even better. Some people call them hash browns, some people call them home fries. Either way, they are the potatoes that you get when you go to a diner when you have a hangover to help cure you. First thing I'm going to do is take 3 pounds of chopped potatoes, it's about 4 large potatoes, and put them into a large pot filled with water. Cook it at boiling for about 2 minutes and then turn it off. What this is going to do is parboil the potatoes, so when you're cooking them in the pan, you have nice soft potatoes that aren't mushy. While the potatoes are sitting in the hot water, we're going to heat up 1 tablespoon of olive oil in a large pan, and we are going to add 1 chopped onion. We're going to cook that onion for 3 to 5 minutes until translucent. Then just take the onions out of the pan and set them aside. At this point, your potatoes should be fork tender, and you can just drain them in a colander and let them sit there until they're dried completely. Now in that same pan, you want to heat up 1 tablespoon of olive oil and 1 tablespoon of the non-dairy butter flavored coconut oil. And we are going to add the potatoes, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of Cajun seasoning, and salt and pepper to taste. I'm going to toss those potatoes so that they're completely covered in oil. Then I'm going to spread them out so they're almost in a single layer on the bottom of the pan. I'm going to cook those without stirring for 7 to 10 minutes or until the bottoms are nice and crispy and golden brown. When they're golden brown, I'm going to take a spatula and flip the potatoes so they get nice and golden brown on the other side. Again, let them cook without stirring for about 7 minutes. When those potatoes are crispy all over, I'm going to add in the onions and stir to combine. At this point, you can just taste the potatoes and season them to your taste. Add more salt, pepper, or Cajun spice if you want to add that, and then remove them from the heat. All right, guys, all 4 recipes done and ready to go. I've gone ahead and fixed myself a delicious plate with huge servings of each piece of brunch for myself because I'm hungry. I worked very hard to put this together. These pancakes, I mean, if you're looking for an instant sugar rush with delicious flavor, super easy to make, looks really fancy because you toasted the marshmallows, these are definitely the ones you want to do. They're so good. Oh my God. Rawmio, good job. All right, get on. These potatoes are my favorite thing ever. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I have definitely shared this recipe on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you definitely should so that you get recipes before everybody else. I could live off potatoes, honestly. They're definitely my favorite food group. Well, they're not a food group, but they should be. But they're definitely my favorite vegetable. I actually think that they're better than the ones that I get at the diner. Sorry. All right, mouth's full. Might as well go in and add some more. Tofu Scramble Florentine. Best brunch ever. And there you guys have it, a mouth-watering vegan brunch and only 4 easy recipes. If you're interested in any of the products that I used today, I'm going to be linking them all in the description box below, so definitely check those out. Thank you again to IHERB for sponsoring this video. If you haven't checked them out already, you definitely should. There's nothing better in this world than vegan products with inexpensive shipping. Plus, they have a number of great initiatives, which is super important to me because I order a lot of stuff online and I often feel guilty about all the packaging and waste that's associated with that. For a majority of their orders, they have decided to go paperless, so instead of getting a packing slip and other communication, they actually send it to you over email. Plus, they recycle plastic bags, boxes, styrofoam, and bubble wrap that they receive from their manufacturers and encourage you to do the same. If you like this recipe, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and leave me a comment in the comment section below letting me know which one was your favorite. And if you're new here, please take the time to hit that subscribe button. It's right down there so you don't miss out on new recipes every single week. I hope you guys have an amazing week and I will see you next time. Bye!